Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. I don't think I've ever often made it clear that on Mondays I specifically try to give messaging regarding the week ahead for the collective that tunes in. So this is one of the collective weeklies, kind of like a newspaper, where I'm always giving on the general vibe, right? But Mondays are always intended for that and the week ahead, just to make that clear. And the week ahead feels good. It feels a lot lighter than what this past weekend was. It feels like these past few days, also timeless intention, by the way, like you may have just randomly came across this video. So whatever, you'll take what resonates in general. This past weekend felt like now that today has arrived, this past weekend really felt like one of those clearing out things where you're doing the hard physical labor of like doing spring cleaning up, clearing out the dust. You know how that takes like physical energy from you? It feels like that's what was happening with us. And that's part of why there was this like dip. So regardless of what state you may be in today, hopefully you feel lighter. I think that is a good signal into understanding that you've done the work well, that you did the cleaning. And even if you don't feel light, keep traveling about your days present and taking note about how you feel, because it's also, these kind of things can be difficult to feel into or even be aware of if you just don't think about it that much, you know? I'm going to shuffle and see what this week is talking about. Okay. We have common themes appearing. Let's just check this. Yeah, okay. We have the King of Swords, the Chariot, the Eight of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups, the Ten of Swords beneath the deck. This feels a lot like what this weekend was about, like I described. Just a cleaning up, a finishing off. Energetically feels like a clearing out of that old pain, facing it, crying again, feeling it like it's fresh, being willing to really, really cry. And then comes the beauty of this week. This is what I'm feeling. More specifically, this is what I'm feeling. And this. It feels like the gift that could come of this week will come in the form of clarity of mind and being able to very clearly think and focus on the positive, which will obviously have wonderful effects on your external world and the way things manifest. It feels like we're going to tap into a new level of like focusing on the light that will let us play with our lives more. We may bring in more sensations of joy and happiness just from thinking about it, which I've already been feeling. And it's only been about 2 hours of me fully experiencing this day. It feels incredible. I did wake up with this sensation of feeling like we really are in a new reality. And I saw on social media that we're apparently in the first, Aries just made a huge transit into a sign. Let me just get clear on that actually. I think it's Neptune that went into Aries, tropical. And it's in the 0th degree. Let's just see what this is about. Yeah, Neptune moving into Aries. Yes. So I'm seeing a tweet here by Energy Healing JW that says Neptune is leaving Pisces, tropical Pisces, and moving into Aries. This means that major changes are happening, whole realities are shifting, some things you dreamed about or had in your heart the last 13 years are happening, which I think is true. And I think is part of all the cards, the readings that I've been doing over the past few days have all had this energy and have almost always had the Chariot. I've done 3 collective readings so far where the Chariot is present. And I think on a personal reading that I did in the Tyrant Shell, someone got the Chariot too. I received the Chariot personally. It's a very big theme right now. Even if you don't feel it, even if you're not aware of it, and even if you're so deep in the trenches that you really couldn't understand how, you know? Yeah. This is, I think that even for people who are deep in the trenches right now and feel no sense of this or don't understand how this could come, it could even come with the lifting up from the trenches where, you know, when you're in a dark night of the soul and everything is so, so, so dark for such a long, like indefinite period of time that you don't actually know when or what or how, the thing that I believe is sent in moments like that, when I experience that, is just a relief of that. And you will feel the sensation where it's like, oh, you feel happier, just even a little bit, even if it's just a smidge. You feel a little bit more hopeful and a little bit more joyful, and you're finding things funny on the internet and you're laughing and you're feeling, you know, you feel a little bit inspired. There's so much hope, and I really hope that you can access it, even if a little bit, you know. There's so much that we worked really, really, really fucking hard for that we didn't think would come. And I keep reading on this frequency as well, that somebody who's grafting and has their head so focused on the process of refining their skills themselves, improving, going towards their dreams, whatever, and then suddenly, boop, 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 just creeps up behind you or in front of you or wherever, but just in a way that kind of shocks you, like, wow, it's here. It has arrived, yes. Finally. I'm also getting a sense of that, a sense of just a finally, man. But of course, with the presence of the King of Swords, it continues to be a thing that starts with the way that you think and a focus on refining that. Yeah. Focus on the way that you think more than anything. You've probably done enough movement in the physical. You've probably worked enough jobs. You've worked hard enough, whatever. Now it's about the internal and the way that you think. I'm also getting just the sensation of feeling fulfilled. No telling what the actual gift of fulfillment would be from the universe and what it may manifest. You know what it is that you've been praying for. But it will feel so deeply emotionally fulfilling and assuring. These cards together imply to me that this king is in a positioning of power that he's earned and that he will do very well with. It's like the sensation of God giving you an idea, $1 million idea. $1 million. An idea that's worth $1 million. I think I'm going to pull from the Intuitive Tarot deck now. See what comes for us in that deck. Okay. In this deck, we have the One of Swords and the Eight of Rods in reverse. Let me touch on the Eight of Rods. Oh, and then we have the Three of Swords. This is very interesting, contrasting energy. And when I touched on this deck, I immediately felt, so this deck in general is very energetic, spiritual. I mean, you can tell by the vibe and the illustration that it was probably made by a water sign or an Aquarius or someone who is at least very tapped into their spiritual senses, you know? So that this is the Rider-Waite deck reads more for your external space. And then with pulling these cards, this is more of the internal space, the deeper subconscious level, the part from within that you behave from, that where you don't understand why you behave that way or feel that way. You know, the part that in order to understand more, you need to really sit and contemplate. So I'm receiving that deep, deep within, that while I have given and delivered that, yay, good news is coming, there's still this deep sense within you that definitely doesn't rock with it. In the way that's you're just way too hurt, guarded, defensive against your life because of what it's brought you in terms of the feelings of pain. So it's like you're not very open to, as I said, a new way of thinking. It might be that you're not very open to it. Let me touch on the Eight of Rods in reverse. We have frenetic activity with no space to draw breath or reflect, stress, time pressure, or too many deadlines, frustrated, creativity, self-destructive urges. Yeah, these cards together, to me, oh, and then you have the Knight of Cups. It all just beckons an invitation to think differently, love. Like, I don't know, I like to caption it in my readings, whether or not you believe that this will come, whether or not you believe that life will turn out to be a fulfilling experience for you, it doesn't matter. It will. This is a truth. This is an objective truth and an objective consequence of your life. The timing thing is something that we are deeply frustrated by collectively. But I do also feel a shift in that. Like, it felt like over the past 2 days, the timing deva over our collective. Oh, I forgot I had stickers on my son. The timing deva of the collective. Saturn was like tying us, holding us back. We kept wanting to go like kids going, no, let us into it. Come on, let's see. And Saturn kept going, no, look at, it's like, yes, it's like a child wanting to go play, but the child needs to finish their food first. And this child is desperate to go play, but it's like you still have food on your plate that you need to eat and chew and process and swallow and digest. You still have food on your plate. And part of the food is pain. The pain that kind of leaves you feeling, the pain that leaves you, I wanted to say the pain that leaves you feeling frustrated by its presence. But that pain is for you to, it has a deeply spiritual purpose. And part of this deeply spiritual process and purpose is connected to your sense of mind. There needs to be more acknowledgement about how your mind affects your spirit and your energy and your life. There also needs to be more acknowledgement about I'm receiving the need to slow down so that you can understand more about pain, how pain has changed you. But more specifically, what it has revealed about you. Like in the pain that I've processed, the way that I did it, I processed really, really new, fresh pain, something that I'd never seen anyone go through, something I didn't even think I would need to know how to, like, it was very, very new for me. And after enough time crying, sitting with it, which again, the presence of this is, you've had enough time so you can give yourself the chance to recognize that, in my case, the pain awakened me to how graceful I can be and how patient I can be, and how when things get down to it, I really am dedicated to my spiritual mission, my ancestors, the soul thing of life. I'm so serious about it. Hey, Lisa, I'm okay. I feel great, actually. I feel very ready. Thank you for asking. I hope you're well. So acknowledging the ways in which pain sometimes does that for you might also even lead or be part of the emotional fulfillment and the gift from the universe. Just like having a deeper, expansive relationship of life is what I'm thinking, is what I keep feeling into a lot of people underestimating. Like, you don't understand how full life can be for you on the daily without the interference or the occurrence of any kind of external something, without a single cent. And it's true. It might be crazy for the ego to wrap, for the modern ego to wrap its head around, but it's true that without a single fucking cent, you can be so happy and fulfilled and okay with yourself and connected with the sensations of joy of life, you really don't need much to be in the state. I'm also getting the possibility that, like, okay, just be open to that. Be open to realizing how happy you can be without anything about your external world changing. All just from a sense of inner fulfillment and deciding, deciding and taking on a new way of thinking. Be open to a new way of thinking. I feel called to also remind us that it only takes 9 seconds. And I remember doing research actually, and it said 99 or 9 seconds. But to me, I've experimented it. I've tried it. I've felt through the thing, counted to 9, released it. And when I released it afterwards, it really did leave. It really was that I just wasn't feeling this way anymore. Counting to 9. And also, it's incredible, the relationship, the real relationship you have with your body and your emotions. Where for me, as simple as this sounds, this is exactly how it happened. I felt through the pain. I was in it. I was in it. I told my body mentally, we're gonna have 9 seconds of this. After that, it's done. I sat, I felt through it. I counted to 9, but with the feeling being the thing, knowing that I'm feeling this to feel it. Counted to 9. After that, it left. And what was left behind was this. If you can climb into the visual of this scene, watching the flame burn, the sword, it feels like a moment of stillness, but it's also very pulsing and very alive with the fire crackling and whatever. This is the moment that I felt afterwards, where it's like, it's as if the moment itself was asking, so what now? What will you do? What anew? You have this sword, you have this pulsing moment. What are you going to do with it now? What will you choose to think next? Where will you choose to place? Where would you like to place your awareness? Feels like you need to take more control of your energy in terms of the way you think. And just intending on that will give a very fruitful experience for you. You will be so surprised how much of this life works with you. I don't think people really understand Operation Beautiful Life. Exactly. And that's part of this. Yes. Thank you for that comment, Lisa. That's a lot of what 2025 was for us. Even if nothing actually traumatic, like externally happened, it feels like we needed to learn. People who learned about how alchemical pain is in 2025, in my opinion, are going to have a very, very good 2026. And a good life ahead, honestly. Life will always come with its pains and traumatic experiences. Being able to alchemize that and turn that into something is a very important skill that time continues to try to teach us in a very loving way, honestly. Very loving, in a way that we can always handle. I feel called to shuffle for one more. Let that be the closing card by an interpretation, and then I will close the reading. There's no way. I can't, like, this kills me. In every reading? Really? The romantic energy, the coupling energy, the union energy just really wants to show its face in every single reading? This is so cute to me. This is very, very cute. Wow. And I keep wondering, every time I do these romance reading, well, imagine me saying these romance readings. It's not a romance reading, it's a collective reading. But every time the romantic energy comes in, it always feels like, so like I said, when I felt this, when we all felt it a few months ago, what I was feeling into was that this would happen in bursts. And it would happen, like I said, in clusters, where a cluster of a collective of people would connect while another one stays still, continues to work, graft, learn their lessons, process pain, whatever. Then another cluster of a collective begins to connect while another sits still processing, whatever. It happens in ways for all of us. And Yeah, this is exciting because with this showing up in a Monday collective reading where I intended on the week ahead, it's giving that the week ahead may bring this. I will read the interpretation of this and then let that be what we leave with. So cute. We have a love affair, falling in love, a union of opposites that takes effort and understanding, which I think is also an important sentence considering the presence of the oppositeness of presence in the chariot. And in this deck, the chariot specifically mentions that uniting all parts of yourself to be able to put forth your will in a way that aligns with your fulfillment or emotional fulfillment. Reconciliation, an idyllic period, give and take of emotions, sexual, sometimes also spiritual attraction, trust, giving, and receiving. This is also this is the energy for this week, and I just love that. It feels so good. This week is going to be so good, and I really, 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 really hope that you believe it, that you decide it, because I really think that just deciding it is what's going to bring upon the goodness for this week. I am so excited. I'm so excited. This together like this in a reading is just so fun. I love the romantic energy every time it comes. I love it, I love it, I love it. Love the amount of connections that are about to happen throughout time for this year. I'm so excited. And this is such a beautiful card. Don't we just love the grapes, the vines, the design, the passion of the two kissing, the shape of their faces, how together it shapes a heart. I'm just noticing now. It's so stunning. So stunning. So stunning. I hope you open your heart and stay open to receive. Yes, Lisa, I can't wait either. I'm so excited for us. This is going to be a very beautiful week. Happy week to us all. Happy Monday. People need to remember nobody's promised tomorrow. Exactly. I hope we can all live in the present moment. This week will bring so much beautiful things. I'll see you in the next